Welcome to Mbatuvi. Before you can access our sites, we need to provide you with a comprehensive understanding of our company, our activities, and our safety protocols. This induction video has been specifically designed to introduce you to the key areas of our plant site, tailings, the ammonia storage facility, and the port area, and is intended for both employees and visitors. Through this video, you will learn more about our specific environmental and safety protocols, equipment requirements, and the necessary procedures for each of these areas in order to ensure that you are equipped to navigate each location safely. It is important to note that each site may have unique hazards and environmental aspects that require additional training. To ensure the safety of all employees and visitors, a specific induction must be completed for each operational site that you will be working in or visiting. It is imperative that all employees and visitors attend and actively participate in these inductions to ensure a safe experience at Mbatuvi sites. It is essential that you pay close attention to all the information provided in this video, as it is crucial for the safe and successful operation of our facility. Mbatuvi is a mining and processing operation located solely in Madagascar. It is a joint venture between the Japanese Sumitomo Corporation and the South Korean Komeer. Our mission is to deliver high-quality nickel and cobalt to the market, operating at high standards of corporate and social responsibility with utmost regard for the health and safety of our employees and contractors, the preservation of the environment, and the creation of long-lasting benefits for the communities in the areas where we operate. Our corporate values are respect, integrity, responsibility, and excellence, and you will see that we practice these values in every aspect of our business. Mbatuvi adheres to international standards for quality, health and safety, environmental management systems, and social responsibility, as per ISO 9001, ISO 45001, and ISO 14001. As part of its commitment and to support its mission, Mbatuvi has developed a comprehensive strategy focused on health and safety, a process-safe environment, community, and quality. Mbatuvi aims to build, promote, and maintain a sustainable culture to prevent health and safety incidents and losses amongst employees, contractors, suppliers, and community partners. The company seeks to reduce the risk of any major incidents by educating the workforce of potential dangers, identifying causes of harm, and ensuring suitable working protocols are drawn up and remain current and effective. Mbatuvi demonstrates its commitment as a responsible operator by avoiding, reducing, mitigating, and offsetting its environmental footprint, ensuring the conservation of biodiversity, and working collaboratively with the government and communities for the preservation and conservation of the ecosystem. Mbatuvi seeks to be a good neighbor by developing mutually beneficial relationships with surrounding communities and contributing to their socioeconomic development by collaborating with relevant stakeholders and partners. Finally, the company continuously strives to improve customer and stakeholder satisfaction by listening to their requirements and doing its best to meet their expectations. The health and safety system enables the organization to provide a safe and healthy workplace by identifying potential hazards and ensuring appropriate controls are in place to prevent work-related injuries and ill health. The Process Safety Management System supports the identification and mitigation of hazards that could lead to a catastrophic incident by raising awareness of and managing safety-critical equipment systems. Our environmental programs are based on national and international standards, such as those of the National Office for the Environment, or ONE, which is the Malagasy national regulatory body, as well as the Equator Principles and the IFC Performance Standards. The programs include priority biodiversity conservation and continuous monitoring of the physical environment to minimize to the greatest extent possible any impact on the local environment and local communities. Air quality is closely monitored through a network of air detectors and analyzers located along the perimeter of the site. These detectors continuously measure concentrations of dust, particles, nitrogen dioxide, and sulfur dioxide in the ambient air around the site and will send an alert as soon as specific values are reached, preventing any impact on nearby communities. At the port and neighboring community level, noise and dust concentrations are regularly monitored to prevent any adverse impacts in the surrounding area. Water management is a top priority, as the plant site, tailings management facility, or TMF, and the port are surrounded by water resources that are also used by local communities. A comprehensive monitoring program is in place to ensure the quality of surface and groundwater, and a dedicated team is responsible for taking samples for analysis on a daily basis. Any sources of water pollution or contamination must be avoided and prevented. Hazardous and chemical substances are not allowed to enter storm drains connected to the surrounding environment, local streams at the TMF, Pangalan Canal at the plant site, and the Indian Ocean at the port. Only rainwater is discharged into the surrounding environment, and the quality is checked on a regular basis. Water conservation efforts are encouraged, such as immediately reporting leaks and closing taps after use. Ambatovi is responsible for managing all types of waste generated through its operations, including domestic and industrial waste. All employees and visitors are expected to contribute to waste management efforts by properly disposing of waste in designated bins and sorting recyclable materials wherever possible. Plastic bottles, in particular, should be placed in the dedicated bags or the Copa Keletra bins, or even better, be replaced by a reusable water bottle. In the field, any industrial waste should be sorted and placed in the designated bins for recyclable materials, wood and plastic, scrap metal, hazardous waste, and general waste. Ambatovi recognizes the impact of greenhouse gases on climate change and has implemented greenhouse gases accounting and reporting in line with international standards. Options to reduce the consumption of natural resources and our carbon footprint are studied and implemented where possible. For example, the fleet of vehicles at the plant site includes a significant amount of electric vehicles, which not only reduce the carbon footprint, but also reduce noise pollution and exhaust fumes for all employees. Small actions from everyone, such as switching off lights and air conditioning when rooms are not in use, and avoiding unnecessary printing on paper, also contribute to reducing our carbon footprint. Our social programs include interventions in the areas of health, education, income-generating activities, and social development. These programs contribute to the sustainable development of our host communities with the intention of leaving a long-lasting positive legacy in Madagascar. Everyone at any Ambatovi site should respect both the local communities and the environment. Our operations start at the mine site in Moramanga, where laterite ore is excavated, mixed with water to form a slurry, and sent down a 220-kilometer pipeline to our plant site at Tuamasina. At the plant site, the ore goes through the hydrometallurgical process to create our finished products, nickel and cobalt briquettes and powder with a minimum of 99.9% purity. Ambatovi's Tailings Management Facility, or TMF, is located approximately 10 kilometers west of the plant site. The tailings, residue with no commercial value left over after mining, processing, and refining, are neutralized and pumped from the plant site through a 15-kilometer pipeline to the tailings site, a secure, stabilized area where the treated residue is deposited for permanent safekeeping. Ambatovi also has support facilities located near the plant site, including the port, railway, road, ammonia storage tanks, and the marine outfall. The plant site is composed of two different areas, the restricted and the non-restricted areas. In the restricted areas, basic personal protective equipment is required at all times. This includes long-sleeve shirt, safety helmet, safety glasses, hydrogen sulfide cricket, and escape mask. Additional PPE may also be required depending on the nature of your work. This can include hearing protection or a safety harness. Your badge is required to enter and exit the plant site, tailings, ammonia storage facility, and the port area, regardless of where you work. While you are on site, you are required to have your badge visible at all times and must present it to security upon request. There are two colors of badges at Ambatuvi: blue for employees and green for contractors. If you have any special authorizations, such as for driving or for having a laptop in your possession, the relevant icons will be on your badge. Any unauthorized use or sharing of an access badge is strictly prohibited. The Visitor Center is your first point of contact for any issues related to your badge, such as site access. If your badge is lost or damaged, contact the security control room immediately. The numbers for the security control room can be found on the back of your badge. For entry and exit, security agents are authorized to search personal items, bags, and cars. The level of the search may vary based on prevailing security conditions. The health and safety of all our employees and visitors is incredibly important for Ambatuvi. Therefore, the following rules are in effect. Only individuals authorized to drive on site are allowed to do so. Visitors are not allowed to drive and must be accompanied at all times. It is mandatory to fasten your seatbelt while in a moving vehicle, and windows must remain closed. This also applies to private cars and buses. While on site, please respect all traffic and pedestrian rules, including stop signs and use of pedestrian crossings and sidewalks. Ambatuvi has a zero-tolerance policy for alcohol and drugs. All employees and visitors are subject to alcohol and drug testing if there is a suspicion of use. Smoking is only allowed in the dedicated smoking areas. Site cleanliness should be respected. Photography is strictly prohibited without formal authorization. Any mobile equipment such as phones, laptops, or other electrical devices having potential sources of ignition are prohibited inside operation areas. In the event of an emergency, an alarm will sound and you must take immediate action. It is essential that you proceed quickly and calmly to the nearest evacuation point, which can be found on the maps posted in your area. The designated fire warden will guide you to the nearest exits and out of harm's way. There are two types of alarms: the fire alarm, which is a continuous ring indicating a fire emergency, and the general alarm, which is a series of short rings indicating a non-fire emergency. Both of these alarms require immediate evacuation. There are many fire alarm pull stations across the site, and it is important to know how to operate them. There are two different types of pull stations: manual and automatic. Manual pull stations are activated by pulling a handle, and automatic pull stations are activated when they sense smoke or heat. Ambatuvi is committed to providing a safe and healthy workplace with an empowered and appropriately trained workforce that can perform their tasks efficiently and safely. If you do not feel well, you should go to see a doctor or go to the ISOS clinic. A medical face mask will only be required if you have COVID. In Ambatuvi, every worker is encouraged to speak up and act if they see a hazard. If you think something is unsafe or could have a negative environmental impact, you should put a stop to it immediately. We strongly encourage everyone to take care of themselves and others. That concludes our health and safety and environmental induction for the Ambatuvi plant site, tailings, ammonia storage facility, and port area. We hope that you now have a better understanding of Ambatuvi and are familiar with our safety protocols, equipment, and procedures. Your knowledge and adherence to these protocols, equipment, and procedures are vital to ensuring a safe and successful experience. We wish you a pleasant visit and a safe experience at Ambatuvi, and would like to remind you to always pay attention to your surroundings and follow all safety and environmental guidelines. Remember, safety in the environment is everyone's responsibility, and we all play a critical role in maintaining sustainable operations. Welcome to Ambatuvi. We look forward to seeing you in the field.